Wait, do you have the pictures?
Right here.
Scanning? Oh, you do?
I did, yeah, I took the picture.
So send the PDF. Send it to me, I'll send it on to the
So means you're telling me that I'll be looking at the tomb of the entire shear?
I mean, it's your perspective.
Huh?
No?
Well control.
Type it.
I'm going to check the other room and see if it worked.
Oh, you connected to the printer?
I started.
Is everyone on the Kuti Moran chat? I'm getting a lot of playing stairs right now.
What? I am.
You just sent something in there?
Yeah.
Nice work.
You got it, Ben? Yeah. I just sent it. Is that the live then? Good. Okay. We're good?
On Friday morning that the second shear had it didn't go through the regular. No, it's going through
YouTube.
It's going through YouTube now. And when I went, I was walking home, and I realized that the shear that I was playing from the H Killers website was the shear that I had heard before. Yeah. But he was like mentioning the same things again.
I have the same thing. You can make more.
So we're not doing anything direct in the H Killers live anymore.
No, we are. What do you call it?
Because I went to it a couple of times when the recent shear and there was nothing there.
Well, I tried to listen to the 8 o'clock shear.
You got to
Making sure you're centered.
And it was 6 o'clock.
Wait, Dove, it's on the website right now, no?
They said it was going through YouTube now.
What?
I know that, but Yaakov embedded it on the website.
He said there's an issue with it. That it plays the prior Kevin's information.
Oh, it's not working.
Yeah, I just posted on a few different channels.
The link.
What?
The link?
Yeah.
Did I get it?
The live stream.
No, you can share with me.
Yeah, I got it here.
So can you post it on H Killers video? Because I can't have on any of those chats and I don't
Yeah,
want.
you are. You're on AK Friends.
No.
What? You're not on AK Friends? What are you on?
AK Shear and Mari McCullers?
Oh, you know what? I'll get on that one and but I'll post it. I'll send this to you directly. Is it just a live stream for every shear? No, it's the same. It's the same one. Yeah. I'll check that for you.
Okay. Okay. So this morning I came down last second to do something different as I looked to see what we were up to. In the Sefer, we're up to a little bit of the sugya of Hishtadlus. We've been speaking about it, but we haven't really hit that sugya yet. And next week, I don't think it's going to be shared. It's Erev Rosh Hashanah. The week after that, there might be, but then the week after that, Sukkot. So I was thinking we should do something a little bit different for today. And then and maybe we'll see what this could be in 2 weeks. And then we'll start Hishtadlus after Sukkot. So we'll get into that sugya, because that's obviously a tremendous sugya within the world of Bitachon. So as we were approaching Rosh Hashanah and Yom Narayim and a lot of Yom Tovs in general, so I thought to talk about a little bit the Ruchnius aspect of Bitachon, or Bitachon and Ruchnius. But before that, I want to mention, someone told me a Maisa this week, and it's very important that we talk about the Maisim in order that we see how people utilized Bitachon in their day-to-day, and therefore it might help us if we don't even realize potentially where Bitachon comes out. So it's Kedai to speak about. So someone told me a Maisa that happened at work, that he was working on a certain client, and I'm not sure, he's an accountant, a lawyer, something like that, and he was trying to help his clients make money. They try to do. They had made a certain fee, whatever it would be, and at the end of the day, this person helped his client get a very, very positive verdict, much better than the expectations and what they thought, much, much higher. And after that, they paid him whatever it was, which was an insignificant amount of money. Based on what the original expectations were, it should have been much, much higher. And he told me that afterwards, he was thinking a little bit like, I got these guys a big time deal. They made a lot of money on this. Maybe I could have gotten a little bit more out of them. I could have made some more money off them. And I said it was bothering him. And then quickly, he set himself and he said, from shaar habitachon, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who gives the money. It's up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu how much a person gets. This was the fee that was set. That's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted. Can't change it afterwards. And therefore, al tidag, I don't have to worry or be upset, bothered that I didn't get what I thought I could have received. He said, I calmed him down. Right? So he uses shaar habitachon very clearly in a certain situation that we might go through. It's a very common type of situation. After the fact, you think you could have made some more, and then you're bothered that you didn't make more, and you could sit on that for a long time. And then you start to go into all that whole world. If people are still in that world, that could have helped me pay for this, it could help me pay for that, it could, right? You go into that place. That not good place. One of the goals of bitachon is not to go there. Stop that right now. This is where I am, this is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted. And then we were talking, I said, just to say potentially a little bit deeper, maybe what was going on in the sugya bitachon, was at the moment that moment where a person thinks, I could have made a little bit more, right? I helped them out. They got a good verdict. They made a lot more than they could have. And that moment where you think, should get a little bit more. At that moment, what's going on in the person's head? For a moment, and it's not a rishus, it's a kfira, thinking, I did it. It's me. Right? I got them that verdict, therefore I should make some more money. And then when I don't get it, I'm upset. When in fact, that's not the right perspective at all. Right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who put me in this job. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who sent me this client. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who set this whole thing up. He's the one who got the good verdict, not me. I'm just a messenger. And therefore, whatever was set is great. If they want to give me more, okay, I'll gladly take it, but I will not be upset if I do not receive anything more because there's no expectation. I'm just a messenger. Right? That's where it's all coming from. The same type of, see how quickly it can, from that small type of, that nekuda of, is it me or is it a HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is the yesod of everything, how it could quickly go into all these places. So it's important just to hear these stories. We're all working together and everybody's dealing with these things to know, right? If you see that happening with you, oh, it's like we heard about this. This might be like a bitachon thing. Okay. It's important.
How does that work? So at work, a little while back, I made a significant mistake, which cost my company and my partners and myself money.
Mm-hmm.
There was a tremendous chalishas about when I realized what I had or hadn't done. What's the reaction? I mean, again, everything's min hashamayim, but this time I can't say I could have had more, I wanted more, I have, jealousy of what somebody else is. I mean, all the other things. This is, oh damn, I messed up.
But and
so I'm still the shaliach for HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Right.
I was struggling with, I was working on, okay, this is what's supposed to be happening. Because I'm not the only one who makes mistakes, so Baruch Hashem. But if none of us make mistakes, so then, whatever. But I find the avoda most challenging when it's my mess up.
yeah. My mess up, meaning there's different aspects. There's your mess up and therefore you lost money, or it's your mess up and you lost other people's money, or you messed up and other people
because I harmed others.
You harmed
others got harmed through my shlichus.
So we learned that clear. We already learned that in shaar habitachon. Nobody can harm anybody else unless the Kadosh Baruch Hu decides. We don't like to be the shliach of nezek,
right,
and we should never put ourselves in that position. And after the fact, we should do what we can in hishtadlus to soothe them in any way. But we have to remember that that's a Kadosh Baruch Hu. He did that. My job now, my hishtadlus now, is to do what I can. But that emotional pit, that chalishas hadas, that's where bitachon will come. Don't have chalishas hadas. Do what you could do. Obviously, feel bad in general that they lost money, but not a chalishas hadas. Kadosh Baruch Hu decided. Don't be cold. Be like, guys, can you guys stop whining already? Kadosh Baruch Hu did this, That's us. That's us. That's putting bitachon on them. You can't do that either. But my bitachon for me is my mindset right now. How am I settling with this situation? Kadosh Baruch Hu decided that. Therefore, I'm calm. But from this place of calm, how can I help them? How can I feel for them? I still could feel for them. Their pain. It doesn't mean that I have to fall into a pit. Does that make sense?
I recovered, but it was harder than other times.
I'm sure. Whenever we hurt anybody else, it's very hard for us.
You have to question yourself, why was I the agent of this?
That could be a question afterwards.
Where is the Kadosh Baruch Hu, what messages that I find?
I believe that's true. After you set yourself and you mechazik yourself, that was a Kadosh Baruch Hu decision. I'm not going to fall. You mechazik yourself. I need to work on things, but I'm not totally to blame for that. But from that place, why did that happen to me? Why? What did I do? It's all the time. What did I do that maybe I became the messenger for such a thing? And if you find out, great. If you don't find out, still you go weiter. Okay. So in this sefer bitachon l'maisa, which I've quoted before, we're going to discuss now this the Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. There's a certain feeling, and we discussed this a little bit last week. I mentioned it. There's certain the feelings of this month, feelings of tshuva, person taking an accounting of what happened last year, where he's holding. And sometimes if a person really does go into that sugya, then sometimes he feels saddened, maybe depressed. The emesis, it's when people don't go into the sugya of tshuva. It's when they just hear the words tshuva, but they don't actually do it, we're going to discuss. That's when they start to feel bad. And that's what prevents them from even doing actual tshuva. Just from knowing that they're supposed to do it. And then automatically no, it's can't do it. I don't feel like I had a rough year, That itself prevents them from doing the tshuva. So let's discuss how it should work in terms of bitachon. So page 120 here that they have, I gave you the sheets. Anybody who wants, anybody who's listening somewhere, we can get you the pages at some point. Chova aleinu. It is incumbent upon us, ladas, to know shekol ma sheherachnu b'mahus habitachon. Whatever we've discussed with the essence of bitachon, right? Whatever we've discussed so far, and we are, just in the middle. But whatever we have discussed about the essence of bitachon, sheyivtach b'Hashem, rely on HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'kavilo, hope to Him sheyasa ritzon mitzad echad. That on one hand, we hope to Him that He does what we think should happen to us. But on the other hand, we fully believe and we surrender to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and we trust in Him, we rely on Him that whatever He decides is the best is going to happen. Right? We're normal. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it seems to me that I could use a little bit of this, a little bit of that this should go for me. But I'm fully aware that you know more than me about my own life, and I'm surrendered to you. Right? That was the back and forth that we deal with, and that was the back and forth that we learned from this sefer a few weeks ago when we were going into the bitachon l'maisa of the process. Yesh la'amitz zos gam beruchnis. We need to be courageous. We need to be strengthened ourselves and use this process, this back and forth, also in ruchnis. Most people, when it comes to bitachon, right away, it's a parnasa sugya. If you're a little bit more, advanced, it's also refuahs. But after that, people, that's pretty much what bitachon is to them. You need money, or you need to get better. That's pretty much it. When in fact we've learned it's every single minute of every single day of your life with every single situation. Bitachon is how do you live right this moment. And in ruchnius. And with some people, they get confused with ruchnius because they think, Hakol b'dei shemayim chutz mir shemayim. This is on me. This is not on Kadosh Baruch Hu. So therefore, anything that goes wrong, it's mamish on me. Because Hakol b'dei shemayim chutz mir shemayim. This is my world. We have to understand. Look into your own life. Even in ruchnius, sometimes a person is prevented from his great expectations, his great ambitions of ruchnius, of learning Torah, davening. This year is going to be the year I do daf yomi. After like a week, nah. This is going to be the year I'm going to make a chavrus at 6 o'clock in the morning. For like a week it goes, and then nah. This is the year I'm going to learn at night with a chavrus, so I'm going to take it this safer, I'm going to go to that safer, It didn't go. Or it didn't go what you thought. It became a mitzvah. This is the year. I'm going to be better at tzedakah, meiser. I'm going to buy that expensive esrog this year. But then when you got to the place, you're like, whoa, it's a lot of money. Maybe I'll go for the lower price. Whatever it may be. Person, of course, every normal frum Jew wants to be kovish as yetzer. He doesn't want to fall prey to the taivus. He doesn't want to fall prey to the midas rose. But it doesn't always go the way we want it. Kamish adam hakosef. Person has desires. He cries. He beseeches. He supplicates. All the fancy words. But a dain rohu shavodas Hashem kashal of kibarz. He sees that avodas Hashem is very difficult, like iron. Or it just didn't go the way he expected. I did good this year, but I expected more from myself. His avodas Hashem is still filled with disappointments. Ups and downs. He was hoping this would be the year. I got inspired. Slichas night. I was like totally inspired. Then we go into Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and I'm flying high. And then after Sukkot, it's a simcha, and then you get back to the regular day-to-day. And like, I didn't think this would be the year that I would fall again. I thought this was the year. I really got inspired this year. Aleinu Lizkor. We have to remember Sheish Cheshbon Shemayim Gam Bezeh, that a Kodesh Baruch Hu is making an accounting. He's the one who's making cheshbonos here in Ruchnias too. Ad Kamavad Mosai is Atzmu Ad Adam and Nisyonos. Kodesh Baruch Hu is the one who's deciding how strong will be the Nisyonos on a person, both in Gashmias and in Ruchnias. Chalish is a das, weakening of the mind. Vafilu hayiridos v'hameidos shelachora habilti nimnos meribo yaster panim. The Yeridus, a person falls, he stumbles. They're not prevented. There's a lot of hester panim in a person's life. You're not living with the slichas drasha, in a month from now, and you're at work. It's the middle of the day, 2:00, or as Rebbe says, a Tuesday in Teves, right? It's not so easy to hold on to that slichas drasha. It's Messias. Hayisurim and Nisyonos, Hatekuvim and Tekifim. There's Yisurim, there's Nisyonos. They're coming constantly. They're strong. Shemaim is a cheshbon. This is a Kodesh Baruch Hu sending us, just like in Gashmias, difficulties, things we have to work on. We have to activate our bitachon. So too in Ruchnias. As I am them kamor shebruchnias yeshioser sikoi shebetchono yoel mesher begashmias. And in Ruchnias we have this expectation. I think the word sikoi is expectation. I'm not exactly sure. There's a certain expectation that by Ruchnias, our bitachon, our goodwill, and our hopes will work out stronger than Gashmias. If I hope, Kadosh Baruch Hu, this is the year I really, really want to learn. You think naturally, with the natural logical mind, which is what we're trying to go against, that will work more than a Kadosh Baruch Hu, this is the year that I really want to make it rich. Naturally, when it comes to money, maybe a Kadosh Baruch Hu won't give me, maybe I'm not so good, right? Like all that natural thinking that we discussed. If I'm not so good, so therefore he's probably not going to give me. Sequence chance? Does it work out here?
There's a great-
Oh, there's greater chances that they brother. Okay, great. Thank you. When it comes to Ruchnius, Lamalo, why would that's right? Why not? I want to be an Evid. Ulam Gamba Ruchnius, Yitachnu behechlet ikuvim menias. But in Ruchnius, there's many. There's absolutely going to be menias and ikuvim, things that prevent you and stop you. V'shalkin yitzarech adam harbe tamimis Hashem. Therefore, a person needs to be tamim, tamimis. If you look at the sugi of tamimis, just look at Rashi on the pasuk. We just had it a few weeks ago. Tamimis tamim tia im Hashem lokechel is bitachon. What does Rashi say there? I don't have the words palpeh, but Rashi says, don't expect anything. When things come your way, accept it. Me'ahava. Look at Rashi. It's the sugi bitachon. It's mamish the sugi. When Rav Nachman talks about tamimis, he's speaking about bitachon. The chacham and the tam. The tam is a tamim. He's a pashut yid, not a pashut yid like he's simple and he's a loser. He's a bal bitachon. He's not thrown off by the world like the chacham is. The chacham, he has to always have his chachmas. He always has to expect. He always wants, even in ruchnius. We need to learn to accept besavlanus with patience. Savlanus. We discussed the sugi of savlanus. Bitachon gives us the strength of savlanus. That which prevents us from our success and it prevents us from those high ambitions that we had, even in ruchnius. Now, just to pause for a minute, let's get something I think very clear. When a person has these thoughts in ruchnius, and everybody has them, and they are good, right? We want to be ambitious. We want to have we want to strive, and we want to set goals for ourselves. But if we don't properly set them, we're going to fall into a pit. What's the pit? Right? People, right, we expect to have, if I think good, this year I'm going to do daf yomi, let's just say, whatever it is. And then it doesn't go. And he's upset. And Kodesh Baruch, I expected, this is ruchnius. Come on. It's emotional attachment to the outcome, which comes from Yeshus. At the end of the day, even a person has ambitions in Torah and ruchnius, he has to be very careful how to set them properly. Because very often it comes from my own gaiva, my own Yeshus. And when it comes from your own son, I want to be an Why? Why do you want, why? Why do you want to learn Daf Yomi this year? Well, because, that's the right thing to do. Everybody's doing it. If he could do it, I could do it. Like, why not? You're setting yourself up for a big nefila.
So I can say that I did.
Or that. Now, a person has to be honest with himself. If a person says, well, because I cheshbon that with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and we decided together that it's according to my madrega that I should be able to do this, so therefore I set this as an ambition, but at the end of the day, I know that a Kadosh Baruch Hu is the one who decides, and I'm going to put my shtadlis in, but if he says no, he says no, but I discussed this with the Bari Olam. It's a whole different world. But when a person has the expectations, which come from Yeshus, he becomes emotionally attached to the results. Obviously. That's what happens. Why are we emotionally attached to results? Because it's about me. I think that this is what should happen, and that right when you have that thought, you already, you could like pre-order books, you could pre-order, it's not out yet in the market, whatever, you could pre-order it, and when it comes out, then they'll send it to you right away. So the moment you have the thought that I want, it's on me, whatever it is, in the ruchnius, this is going to be the better year of davening. At that moment, you just pre-ordered an emotional attachment to the results. Think about that, right? Yes or no? Right? This is going to be the year I'm going to do daf yomi. At that moment, you just emotionally attach yourself to every single day doing daf yomi, and when it comes out that you didn't do it or you dropped it, it's going to hurt. I failed. I'm a loser. I didn't do it again. Another year. That whole world comes crashing down.
So very short-term aspirations, a very short-term ambition would be okay. Like today, I'm going to learn Daf.
No, because there's a gezerah atu.
I'm saying
You
even
can't
that
if it's not.
may not happen.
Of course. And anyway, it's just the wrong way of thinking. So you hear what I'm saying, gezerah atu. You do that once on today's learning, you're eventually going to fall into that bigger world. We have to learn how to retrain ourselves with bitachon.
Wait. You have to make a decision. Let's say whether it's in Nosa, in Laos, that you stay away from, or whether you're getting up from the meal on time or learning whatever. Person gets up in the morning and says, "Hayom." The Rebbe's been teaching this since the day I know. At least not the result, but at least the decision. I make a decision that today I'm going to do this.
Great.
Today I'm not going
Amazing.
to do this. And then what happens afterwards is a different Indian.
So that's what we're learning. There's nothing wrong with that. But what happens when Hayom?
I will
No.
attempt. I said it wrong. I said.
I know what he's saying. Instead of making it, I'm going to do Daf Yomi for the year, I'm going to do Daf Yomi today.
Doing.
But you still, what happens when it doesn't go? See, your example was you already have I'm going to try, hishtadlis, but you're not emotionally attaching yourself to the results.
Hishtadlis is different from a hachlata. Rebbe's talked about this. You have to make a decision. You have to decide. Not, I hope I'm going to be matzliach. I hope I'm going to decide.
Hachlata, 100%. We learned hachlata.
Right.
But what happens when it doesn't go at the end of the day?
It doesn't go. Then
Great,
tomorrow
sounds
you
good.
wake up and say hayom.
Okay, good. So you got it. You're a Talmud of the right system. Rabbi teaches us the right
I
system.
just know the theory.
Huh?
I just know the theory. It doesn't say.
Okay, so that's why we're here today to try to work on the law. So he told us the theories, and we're here to fine tune it. He tells us the klal. We have to get into the pratim to understand. Let's go right there. But you have to be very careful. That's why even in Ruchnius, let's get that clear. Even in Ruchnius, our ambitions and our expectations come from a little bit of yesh, a little gaiva. The second it comes from that place, we're going to have problems. We're going to have problems. It's the last paragraph. Shekain rabim hema hatovim es hatzlachas l'ruchnius. There's some people who are toveya. What's a good word, toveya? They demand. They demand from HaKadosh Baruch Hu the ruchnius. Bari olam. B'amram, no say like this. Rebbeinu shalom, v'chim hatarasi b'vakashasi, b'sheifasi b'tchoni b'cha avur kesef. What do you think I'm asking for ruchnius for HaKadosh Baruch Hu? I'm asking for kesef. I want to learn the daf yomi. I want to daven better. I want to give tzedakah because I'm looking for money. Zav, chomer. I'm asking for ruchnius. I'm asking for gashmias. I desire to serve you. Be very careful. But this person doesn't think that. He's saying, I desire to serve you. That's great. That's what we're taught. I'm finally at the madrega where I really want to serve you, Baruch. Right? When I was in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, all the grades, I didn't really want to serve you. But now, I finally got inspired. So Weinberger inspired me, and now I really want to serve you. So, give it to me. Why are you sending me ikuvim? I can't get up in the morning. I can't get up at 6 o'clock to learn. I got to get at the 7 o'clock meeting because I got to catch the train. Because I want to get up at 6, I can't get up. Throw me a bone. I'm trying to learn Gemara for the first time. Between me and you, I hate Gemara. I can't stand it. That Rebbe, in 4th and 5th and 6th, 7th, he destroyed me. I hate it. But I got inspired. I'm going to try again. I want to do this. So tell me, get up. And he's not getting up for whatever reason. So he has tinus. He's toveh, Kadosh Baruch Hu. I want to know your Torah. I want to guard your mitzvahs. I don't want to sin to you anymore. I don't want to fall prey to those taivas anymore. Because that's what you want me to want. So I'm doing that. Why isn't it going? Why am I hoping in Yeshua's and it's not happening? This is going on in the subconscious of most of the Hashem. It's happening all the time. Unless we understand properly how to hope. We have to learn how to hope. We think hoping is natural. Hope for ruchnis. That's natural, that's good, and we should do that. Yes, but we have to know how to hope with bitachon. Haravak Zoik, the Bacher, cries out to Kadosh Baruch Hu, Ribono Shalom, Adu Misakev Zivugi, why are you holding me back from getting married? Alo b'kach Rabbi Nisyonosai, there's some Nisyonos being single. Vav Michshalosai, I've been Michshal in certain things because I'm single. Halo chafetz in lezivik hagun avor l'skadish lecha. I want to get married because I want to be mekadesh myself to you. I want to serve you. And I want to serve you. So why aren't you giving me what I want? But it's not. It's ruchnius. What I want is ruchnius. Ha'avrech ma'mishpacha zoik. The avrech is married. He has a family. He cries out, "Why are you preventing me from making money?" Because I know it's you, right? He's a mammon. He's a mammon. He knows the parnasa comes from Kodesh Baruch. See how sensitive it is. These are not stam people who are kofrim. They have emunah. They know. They believe that Kodesh Baruch is the one who runs everything. They believe in ruchnius. You think that I want to become rich? Kodesh Baruch, you know in my heart of hearts I don't want to become rich. It's not the Indian. You know I want to make some money so I can daven, I can learn the menuchas nefesh. That's why I want the money. I'm not asking for millions. Simple house, simple stuff. I'm not asking for big stuff. I want shalom bayis. In order that I can raise my children to Torah. These are all good aspirations, I think. Right? That's what he's saying. Why aren't you giving it to me? It's not about me. It's about ruchnis. Hachol is zoik. The ani is zoik. Right? Everybody's crying. Give me the ability to serve you. That's what I want to do. Skip down. V'kach choshim rabim b'tos. So many people make this tos. Shekeven shekavanasam b'shem shemayim rashaim litboes sarcheim. People make a mistake. Because my kavanah is l'shem shemayim, so I could be toveya, I could demand my needs. A maisa popped into my head. It was maisa a long time ago. It's Kedai. And I don't remember which Rebbe it was. I think maybe it was Ruzhin. I don't remember. You can Rimanov. You can correct me if you know the Maisa. It's Kedai to say over around this time. And I think it was Rosh Hashanah time. And a non-chassid got stuck in the Chassidish court of, again, the Ruzhiner, the Rimanov, I don't remember. And he davened with them. I think it was Yom Kippur. And he was davening with them for Yom Kippur. And after Yom Kippur, the Rebbe claps on the bima and he says, I'm willing to tell anybody here what their bakasha was over Yom Kippur and what Shemayim answered. Nobody moves. Yeah, right. Not happening. Of course the Rebbe knows. Crazy. I don't know what goes on. I'm not happening. So Litvak is like, okay, sure. So he goes up to the Rebbe and he says, Rebbe, what I daven for? So the Rebbe looks at him and he says, it's like you're learning, you're a master in yeshiva, and then you got married and you were learning in Kolo, and then you had a wife and you had kids and you had to go out to work, and work's been very difficult, and you pretty much can't learn the whole day, and you're struggling, and you're working, you have to travel around, and you ask the Kodesh Baruch, please, let me have parnasa so I can go back to learning, so I can go back to davening. I'll work half a day, but let me go back to that place. Let me learn. Ruchnis. So at this point, the guy's shaking. It's mamish exactly what he asked. So he says to the Rebbe, and so he says, so what was the verdict? What did they say in Shemayim? He's mamish shaking. So the Rebbe says, denied. He says, denied? What do you mean? I'm crying my eyes out, asking Kodesh Baruch Hu to learn, to daven, and taking care of his, a wife and kids. So Rebbe says, you don't know if a Kodesh Baruch Hu gets more tainig from your going to work and you're davening like this, or if you were sitting the whole year and learning. So he said, you don't know. You have to be talking. We don't know. We daven, we ask, but at the end of the day, if they be talking, the Kodesh Baruch Hu knows what's meant to be for us. That's what we're talking about here. He's going to continue, right? This is the emes. It's a geula also. It's a freeing thought, because we get stuck when we have these ambitions, these hopes for ruchnius, and then we expect it to happen because they're good ambitions. It's ruchnius, and then we don't get it. Now where does a person go? So why not? Why didn't I get it? And it becomes like a very subtle but sad, negative, depressed type of just. So then everything goes down. Then his davening goes down. The rest of his learning goes down. Whatever he's doing, it just all goes down. I didn't get what I wanted. Because where's that all coming from? It's all coming from right here. So let's keep learning, because this can mamish open up our entire Yom Noraim. This way of thinking, if we're going to get to it, it opens up the whole thing. Because a person goes the whole year, he comes to Rosh Hashanah, he hears the word Shuvah. Oh, man. Like, I don't even want to do it because I know I didn't live up to all those aspirations I had. I didn't do the Daf Yomi. I didn't daven any better this year. He has all these things that I'm saying. He knows within that moment. He doesn't have to go through it. He just knows. And therefore he feels down because he put the responsibility on himself. He didn't go. And therefore he takes the blame. Right? It's all about him. So he really doesn't even do tshuva. Okay, let's just get through Shani Yom Kippur. I'll dance a little bit. It'll be besimcha. I won't think about it so much. Like it's almost like a fake, almost. And we'll be talking. It's real, but it's. Yeah, we'll get through it. Shares a 10, yeah? Okay. So he says, let's go weiter. He says, page 121 here. Adarab, miklal bitachon b'Hashem, included in bitachon in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, laha'amin bo v'levtoch bo b'chol inyanim. We have to believe and trust and rely on HaKadosh Baruch Hu in all inyanim. Gashmius, ruchnius, everything. Family matters. Children matters. Everything. Weather. The weather, at bitachon, we don't have to be sad when it's cloudy and happy when it's sunny, and then sad again when it's too cold, and then happy when it's the summer. It could be besimcha every single moment. This is how Kodesh Baruch Hu wants the cycle to go. Hein begash v'seva hein beruchnis shekena ikar nidish mei adam zeha bechira b'tov v'su lo. Underline 1,000 times in your brains and your hearts. And we're going to get to this with the sugya of hishtadlus. What does a Kodesh Baruch Hu want from us? Bechira betov. Choose good. I would like this year that I should elevate myself in ruchnis. That's it. Result, not up to you. The hishtadlus is up to us. That's a bechira. Bechira is hishtadlus. I would like for this to happen because I really should daven a little bit better. Good. That's great. Today hayom. Today I should mechazik myself. To do better, I could do better. But that's it. Once you get the Bechir Batov, you're done. You did what you had to do. Nothing else. Did it come out today? Was today Hayom? Or was it just Yom? As the Samarov says. Did today you fill those aspirations? That's up to Kodesh Baruch. Of course, a person has to do the Shtadlus during the day. Don't just say Hayom and then not get out of bed. Right? We'll have to learn through this sugi of Hishtadlus. But Hishtadlus means trying, but not becoming attached to any results. It's not up to us. Like if I think of, I don't know if I told the Maisa here, but we said it. I remember the first cycle we did Shar B'tachon. There was a guy who told the Maisa that he had an esrog. He bought a beautiful esrog. He was mamish ready to go to shul that morning, first day Sukkot. You remember the Maisa, yeah? Remember who it was? He was ready to go. He had the esrog. And like right before shul, his kid came, took the esrog, dropped it, knocked the pitim off. He mamish had it. He bought it. He got there. Everything was ready. At the end of the day, it's not up to you. If you get that esrog to shul, it's up to Kodesh Baruch Hu. So, but he did his job. He went out. He looked for the esrog. He bought the esrog. He did it b'simcha. He was ready to go. He got a check plus check plus check. He got it everything. Why did Kodesh Baruch Hu ma'akev him? Don't know. But then the Nisayan was, what's your emotional reaction when that happens? Is the kid going to go to jail for 6 months? Or are you going to go to shul b'simcha and just figure it out with somebody else's esrog? B'chir b'tov.
Where does Onesh come in?
Onesh?
I wanted to learn, and I didn't.
Onesh is realigning ourselves. It's true, because maybe you didn't put enough hishtadlus in. So Onesh is, put a little bit more hishtadlus in. But it's just to realign us, not to punish us. That's how we're learning. Onesh is not to punish. It's to arouse and awaken and strengthen yourself.
So what do you say? Is the ikr to pick up the esrog, or the ikr is really to bench lula? So what kind of a
It's to do
what kind of
everything you
credit
can.
do you get? Just picking it out is beautiful, terrific.
Right.
You never made a bracha on the thing, so you don't get the mitzvah.
Maybe not with that esrog, but so you go to shul and you borrow someone else's esrog.
I thought you can't borrow somebody else's restaurant.
You could on the first day you could do it kinyan, almanas, this and that. There's a way to do it. But Kadosh Baruch Hu didn't want you to do that with. He didn't want you to say the bracha with that esrog. This sukkah.
That's a different conversation. What we're talking about here is what is my attitude going to be when things don't go the way I want.
Correct. That is the main sugya right now, and that's what bitachon trains us and teaches us to mamish be b'simcha, b'yishuv das, b'nuchas nefesh.
In this world, we're results oriented.
This whole world is results oriented.
Well,
That's how we live.
that's you go to school.
Of course.
How well did you do on the test?
Of course, 100%. And this is why we're going against 99.999% of the world, and that's okay because that's how it goes. Our whole nation is against 99.998 of the world, right? So it makes sense that we have to go against them in thinking also. It's not a results-oriented world.
Last night also, have time to come to Baruch Hu Ayidav or something, and it didn't come. That's the result.
Exactly. Davening is a bechira batov.
And he turned back to Kadosh Baruch Hu and said, "But you also didn't provide the result either."
The moral of the story is you buy a backup restaurant.
V'zu yediyah. Chashuv v'necheches b'frap yameinu. This is a very important nekuda we have to get clear in our days. Sha'atzlachos ma'atos v'achzavos merubos. That the successes often are, for a lot of people, are minimal. And the stumbling and the disappointments are very great. A person needs to go in tamimus. Whether he's disappointed, didn't go his way or not, go with tamimus. Whether you stumbled or not, it's not about the result. Then you won't fall even when you're not matzliach, even when you're not successful and you're learning your davening. Stay strong. So what, today didn't go. So what? So what? We get caught up. No, because that means I'm a loser. That means I'm not good. That means it means a lot of things. That's not true. It means that today Kadosh Baruch Hu decided it wasn't going to go. So get up tomorrow. Just hayom. Get up today. Rabbi Nachman sets the day. In Sichas Aran, Rabbi Nachman sets the day. Kadosh Baruch Hu, today, I'm throwing everything on you. Because I know it's not me. I'm throwing my davening on you. I'm throwing my learning on you. I'm throwing my prayer. Everything's on you. All you. Me, and he says my family. So Rabbi Nachman says, this is what he says to Kadosh Baruch Hu in the morning. And then, I'm going to go about my day. Of course I'll go to shul. Of course I'm going to go to the daf. Of course I'm going to go to work. But everything's on you. He says with that, you just relieved yourself of everything. There's no pressures anymore. It's not a pressure to get to shul. The pressure is to actually daven well. Get to shul. Or whatever. Because some people that might be the pressure, fine. That's what Rabbi Nachman says. He throw it on a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Habitachon. Throw it all on him. Everything. Say it. Say it out. Makes a real rosha. And then the rest of the day, you're free. You have to do the shtadlus to put yourself in the right position. Whatever happens, you already threw it on a Kadosh Baruch Hu. You already told yourself it's not on you. You don't need to fall berucho. What's a good way? You don't have to fall in your feelings. Even if you do an aveira chas v'shalom. Not that you can never do aveira lechatchila with this. Of course not. You didn't want to. Kadosh Baruch Hu, you know that I have a type of issue, this midah issue. I don't want it. And I'm going to try to put myself in the position not to do. I'm going to daven. I'm going to stay away from whatever it might be. But Kadosh Baruch Hu, I'm throwing it on you. And then if a person, unfortunately, is nichshel, not good, but he doesn't become depressed by it, okay, tomorrow I can get him again. Okay, Kadosh Baruch Hu decided today's not the day that I'm going to be matzliach. But it could be you need to do a little more shtadlus, maybe stay a little bit further away from that thing. But again, not to fall, not to say, oh, but it was mamish my fault, and therefore I'm a loser. Take responsibility, but with chizik, not with depression. Nobody takes responsibility from depression. I make a joke that achrayus Right? One of the favorite words in this base medrash from Rabbi Achrayis is if you take the same letters, you switch it a little bit around, it's Acherus. If you take Achrayis, it becomes Acherus. You're free. You take Achrayis for what? For the result or for the Bechir Batov? We have to take Achrayis for what we can take Achrayis for, which is the Bechir Batov. You did that? Acherus. I did. I chose. We're going to get into the Sugya more Shtadlis. There's more details to it. We're getting to it. I chose well. I put myself in the right position. It didn't go. Acherus. I'm free from this. I'll have to do tshuva. I have to do tshuva on that, but not from a place of low, a place of high, of chizuk. It changes your whole perspective, how you go into Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. Eliyam b'koach tshuva. We spoke about this last week. Believe in the koach of tshuva. Right? There's a mitzvah of tshuva, which means if you mess up, you could do tshuva, and HaKadosh will forgive you, and He'll look at you the same way as He looked at you before. Hashem, Hashem. Hashem kodem l'chet, Hashem acher l'chet. So do you believe in that? You don't believe in that. So the people who don't do tshuva, or they're sad, they don't really believe in that. They don't really believe in tshuva. They don't really believe and trust that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to forgive them, and He's going to look at them the same way that He once did. But that's crazy. The mitzvah of tshuva demands from us that we trust, we rely on HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that He's going to forgive us, and He's going to look at us the same way He looked at us before. Simcha, chizuk, no sadness. Charata is not depression. You have to regret what happened. I didn't put myself in the right position. I didn't work hard enough, maybe. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided that was going to happen. So I put myself in a better position this year. But with chizuk, the simcha. V'yaseh tshuva, do the yikana, humble, be humble. Yaseh tshuva, v'yamshech halav b'milchamto im yitzro, and go weiter and fight the battle of the Yetzer. Who could fight a battle if he's weak? The way we learn about this, Parsha Shoftim. Don't be scared. If you're going to be scared, just go home. Just go home. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to the Kohen, give every option for them to go home. Because if you're not going to be chazak in trusting that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to do with what He's supposed to do in this war, then you're dead man walking. Is that any different? We're going to battle. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, with chizuk, with amunah, with bitachon, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes care of us. He knows what happened last year. It was up to Him. We have to do our part. Let's get this over as we get closer. And after Rosh Hashanah also. And if you have a quote unquote a bad Rosh Hashanah, learn this again. Go into Seres Tshuva and Yom Kippur. I'm